The binder clip sits in a drawer without ceremony. It is matte black, slightly industrial, almost anonymous. Two polished wire arms arc upward from a folded steel body. It feels more like hardware than stationery, and yet it exists in nearly every office, classroom, and studio. Its shape seems so straightforward that it barely invites analysis. But that simplicity is not primitive. It is refined. Before binder clips, paper management was fragile and inconvenient. In earlier centuries, documents were tied together with ribbon or string. Seals were melted over knots to indicate authority or confidentiality. This worked for formal documents but was slow and impractical for everyday paperwork. With the rise of mass printing and bureaucracy in the 19th century, paper volume increased dramatically. Offices filled with correspondence, invoices, drafts, reports. Holding stacks together became an operational necessity. Straight pins were an early solution. They pierced sheets and held them loosely in place, but they were sharp, dangerous, and easily dislodged. They also damaged paper. Removing them left holes. Staples introduced something stronger. In the late 1800s, stapling devices made it possible to fasten pages quickly and securely. But staples solved one problem by creating another. They were semi-permanent. Removing them tore fibers. Rearranging pages meant bending metal, risking injury, or discarding sheets entirely. Then came the paperclip. The familiar double-loop paperclip, refined in the late 19th century, provided a non-piercing, reusable solution. It gripped by friction alone. But its limitation became clear the moment stacks grew thick. Paperclips rely on elastic deformation of thin wire. Their gripping force decreases as stack thickness increases. Beyond a certain point, they slip or distort. As office stacks grew heavier, particularly in the early 20th century with the expansion of corporate and governmental administration, paperclip friction was not enough. The problem was specific. Hold a thick stack tightly without piercing it, without permanent damage, and without requiring tools to apply or remove. That combination of requirements narrowed the design space dramatically. The binder clip emerged in the early 20th century as a response to those constraints. Its form is not decorative. It is structural. The body is made from a single piece of spring steel folded into a triangular shape. That fold is the core of its strength. When you squeeze the wire arms, you are forcing the steel sides apart. The steel resists. It stores elastic energy. When released, it clamps back inward with significant force. The moment of realization comes when you understand that the binder clip is not gripping because of friction alone. It is gripping because of stored energy. The folded steel body functions as a spring. Unlike the paper clip, which relies on bending thin wire around a stack, the binder clip uses the tension of bent sheet metal. This allows it to exert much greater clamping force across a wider surface. The triangular shape is deliberate. It distributes pressure evenly along the edge of the paper. A flat clamp would concentrate force at a single point, potentially creasing sheets. The angled sides create even compression across the width. The black finish is not aesthetic indulgence. Early binder clips were often made from tempered steel coated to prevent rust. The matte coating reduced glare and corrosion. It also concealed wear. Then there are the wire arms. At first glance, they look like simple handles, but mechanically they are levers. When you squeeze them together, you are increasing the distance between the steel sides. The arms pivot within small rolled grooves in the body. Their length provides leverage, allowing your fingers to overcome the spring tension of the steel with minimal effort. Shorter arms would require more force. Longer arms would make the clip bulky and unstable. The chosen proportion balances grip strength with compactness. But the most elegant feature is what happens after you release the arms. They fold down. That motion is not cosmetic. When folded back against the body, the arms lie flat, reducing protrusion. This prevents snagging in stacks or folders. It also allows multiple clipped stacks to be stacked together without obstruction. More importantly, the arms are removable. This is the detail most people overlook. The wire handles can be squeezed and lifted out of their grooves entirely, leaving a compact steel clamp behind. This transforms the binder clip from a handled device into a low-profile clamp. It reduces bulk even further and allows tighter stacking. That removable handle is not an accident. It is a concession to storage density. Offices are spatial environments. Drawers fill quickly, files stack, Every protrusion adds friction to storage. The binder clip's ability to fold or detach handles acknowledges that holding paper is only part of the problem. Storing paper is the other. The trade-offs embedded in the binder clip's design are subtle. It is strong but not permanent. It holds securely but leaves no holes. It applies high pressure but distributes it evenly. It is reusable and durable, yet it is also inexpensive to manufacture. Manufacturing shaped the design as much as functionality. The body can be stamped and folded from sheet steel in a single process. The wire arms are simple bent loops inserted during assembly. There are no screws, no adhesives, no complex components. This keeps cost low while preserving strength. Unlike staples, which require a separate machine to apply, binder clips are self-contained tools. Unlike clips, which lose shape over time, binder clips retain tension for years. There is also human behavior embedded in the form. People rearrange documents. They remove pages. They add notes. The binder clip allows reversible organization. It reflects a workplace culture where documents are fluid rather than fixed. The strength of the clip invites secondary uses as well. It becomes a cable organizer, a money clip, a photo holder, a bag sealer. Its design is robust enough to transcend its original purpose. But why hasn't it changed? Because the constraints haven't changed. Paper thickness still varies. Offices still need temporary grouping. Damage-free holding remains essential. Cost pressure remains high. Attempts to improve the binder clip often reduce strength or increase complexity. Plastic alternatives lack tension. Decorative versions compromise durability. Magnetic clamps solve different problems. The steel triangle with wire levers remains optimal within its narrow mission. The moment of realization deepens when you compare it to its predecessors. String required knots, pins pierced, staples committed, paperclips slipped. The binder clip negotiates between permanence and flexibility. It does not commit to binding. It does not risk tearing. It does not demand tools. It simply compresses and releases. There is a quiet elegance in that restraint. The binder clip is not flashy because it does not need to be. Its geometry reflects forces. Its size reflects storage. Its levers reflect human grip strength. Its materials reflect industrial efficiency. Even its slightly awkward appearance, that industrial black steel, communicates seriousness. It signals function over decoration. Invisible design often hides intention. The binder clip holds because it resists being opened. It stores potential energy in its folded steel body. When you squeeze the arms, you feel that resistance. That sensation is part of the design language. It communicates strength. When you let go, the clamp snaps back into place with certainty. That snap reassures you the stack is secure. The binder clip does not require branding because its form speaks function. In a world filled with increasingly complex objects, the binder clip remains unchanged not because it is forgotten, but because it is resolved. Its shape represents a stable equilibrium between force and flexibility. When you pick one up now, it no longer looks improvised. It looks inevitable. But inevitability is often the result of refinement. Every curve, fold, and lever exists because earlier attempts failed to balance strength, reversibility, cost, and storage. Invisible design is the art of removing alternatives until only the necessary remains. The binder clip is what remains, a small steel triangle that solved a bureaucratic problem so completely that we stopped noticing it. And perhaps that is the highest form of design, when an object becomes so aligned with its constraints that it disappears into everyday life.